You found it. The video destiny led you to. I'm honored. Hit subscribe and let's make this moment truly epic. Let's begin. At precisely 5 p.m., she texted me saying she couldn't make it that night. I understood exactly where she was at that moment and simply responded with a sure. That evening, I decided to order an outrageously expensive meal for two, her favorite, delivered straight to her ex-boyfriend's apartment, and signed my name on the bill. Her name is Maya, and we had been a couple for just over 2 years, sharing my condo for the majority of that time. On the surface, we appeared to be the ideal couple. However, internally, I constantly sensed I was under scrutiny. Maya's past with her ex, Derek, was a lingering presence. He wasn't just any ex. He was a recurring figure in her life story, the one that got away who now stood as her best friend. I wasn't naive. From the start, I made it clear that I wasn't comfortable with their relationship. It led to a significant argument where she accused me of being insecure and overbearing. She vowed that their connection was entirely platonic, demanding that I trust her. Foolishly, I relented but imposed one condition: complete transparency, no secret interactions, no accidental encounters. She agreed. For a while, things seemed to settle. Derek was a distant memory, a specter in the backdrop. However, in the past few months, this specter gained substance. Maya would often smile at her phone, claiming it was a message from her mom with a tone that was a bit too hurried. Suddenly, emergencies emerged, necessitating last-minute cancellations of our plans, helping a co-worker or aiding a friend in trouble. Her explanations were just plausible enough to make me feel guilty for questioning them. The ultimate blow to my trust came about a month ago. We shared a family account for our phones, an arrangement for the data plan. I noticed a feature online to manage location settings for the devices on this account. On an impulse, I activated location sharing for her phone, reasoning it was for emergencies, although deep down I yearned to uncover a falsehood. It didn't take long. The following week, she claimed she was attending a late-night yoga class. I verified her location. She was at a wine bar across town. The next instance, she said she was having a girls' night at her friend Sarah's. The location app flagged her in a neighborhood 10 miles away, in the condo where Derek resided. I refrained from confronting her. Instead, I observed quietly, accumulating evidence, while a cold knot formed in my stomach. Her deceptions flowed naturally, without effort. I was merely the provider, funding her comfort while she explored her previous life once again. Yesterday was our anniversary. Not the day we met, but the day we moved in together. I had reserved a table weeks in advance at an exclusive sushi restaurant, the type that requires booking a month ahead. It was her favorite, and she'd mentioned it all week. At 5 p.m., as I was leaving work, my phone buzzed. She messaged, apologizing, stating that her boss imposed a hefty deadline, keeping her at the office all night. She promised we'd celebrate over the weekend. I consulted the location app. Her little blue dot marked Derek's condo, not her office, and had rested there since morning. Her lie was so audacious, so brazen, that anger didn't rise within me. Instead, I felt a piercing clarity. This was it, the conclusion. But it wouldn't end in a shouting match. It would be silent, surgical, and unforgettable. I replied with a single word: sure. Returning to my vacant condo, I pondered deeply. I reflected on our 2-year relationship, the trust I'd afforded her, and the future I once imagined. I considered how to bring it to a close. Simply placing her belongings by the door felt inadequate. She needed exposure to be ensnared by her own decisions. I picked up my phone, opened the food delivery application, and chose the sushi restaurant destined for our night out. I ordered their priciest omakase platter for 2, complemented by premium sake. The bill was astronomical, exceeding $300. I entered Derek's condo address, one I knew from meticulous quiet investigation. In the delivery instructions box, I left a note to ensure the recipient understood it was from me, Ben, in celebration of our anniversary. My name topped the order, and I used our shared credit card, well aware she received updates on it. Then, I leaned back and waited. I visualized the moment. The doorbell would ring, she'd answer, anticipating Derek's usual takeout, only to find a delivery person with the city's finest sushi in tow. Her bewilderment would quickly turn into realization as the delivery person announced my name. The expression on her face, knowing I had discovered everything, paid for their romantic anniversary meal, and knew exactly where she was my true revenge. It was not a grand gesture, but a calculated move intended to shatter her reality. Approximately 45 minutes elapsed before my phone erupted with activity. Initially, it was a notification from the credit card app confirming the payment. Then the calls commenced, first from her, which I ignored, followed by an unknown number I also disregarded. Texts followed. "How could you?" remained unanswered. "You're a psycho. Are you stalking me?" Another text, to which I provided no reply. Finally came a last, desperate plea. "We need to talk. Please answer the phone. It's not what you think." I silently turned off my phone. The once shared quiet condo, a testament to our relationship, now felt impenetrable. My stronghold. She was soon to realize her place was no longer within its walls. She arrived around 11 p.m. I watched through the doorbell camera as she nervously played with her keys, hands trembling. She likely understood what awaited her. Inside, she stood at the door, facing me on the couch. "We need to talk," she started. "No, we don't," I replied composedly. "I think the sushi conveyed everything necessary." "You had no right," she shouted. "You embarrassed me in front of Derek. He thinks you're a deranged, jealous fool." "Is that so?" I questioned. "Or has he finally realized that the woman in his bed still has a boyfriend at home footing their dinner bill? I'm certain you two had quite the discussion." Her expression crumbled. Fury was merely a veneer for her anxiety. "It was a mistake," she murmured through tears. "I was confused. Derek and I have history. I intended to tell you." "No, you didn't," I stated, rising. "You would have continued the deceit, living your double life and using me and my home as a safety net. That's finished. Your things are in the spare room, unpacked. I won't do that for you. You have until noon tomorrow to remove every belonging from this condo. At 12:01, anything left will be in the dumpster." She gaped at me, speechless. "You can't just expel me. I live here." "No, you don't," I corrected. "The lease is in my name. You've been a guest here for 2 years, and now your welcome is worn out." The following morning descended into a tense and strained ordeal. With nowhere else to turn, she called her parents. They arrived around 10 a.m., and they were not pleased. Her father, a commanding man who had always been amiable towards me, looked upon me with distaste. Her mother immediately confronted me. "I can't believe you're treating our daughter this way. After all she's done for you, transforming this sterile apartment into a home." Calmly, I responded, "With all due respect, your daughter has been deceitful, cheating with her ex-boyfriend for months. I financed their $300 anniversary meal at his place last night. Your concern should lie with her choices more than my reaction." That halted them. Realizing they hadn't been given the full story, just her skewed version casting me as the antagonist. They assisted her packing in fraught silence. As they loaded the final box into their car, Maya's father approached me. "You'll regret this, son," he warned. "She's the best thing that ever happened to you." I simply shook my head. "No, sir. Liberating myself from her is." After their departure, my first course of action was securing every account. I canceled our joint credit card, stripped her as an authorized user from others, and altered passwords on all shared accounts. I then visited the bank, withdrew funds from our shared savings, primarily my contributions, and transferred them into a new private account. The sudden silence brought a sense of calm, a deceptive lull before the impending chaos. The real turbulence arrived 2 days later, not at the hands of Maya, but from Derek. He appeared unexpectedly at my condo one serene Sunday afternoon. I spotted his angry visage through the doorbell camera long before he rang. Letting him simmer at the doorstep for a moment, I eventually opened the door. "We need to talk," he demanded, looming to enter my space. I stood firm at the threshold. "No, we don't. There's nothing left for us to discuss," I replied coolly. "You've wrecked my life," he accused, his voice quivering with rage. "Did you think it was amusing to send that dinner? Do you realize what you've done?" I retorted, "I have a pretty clear picture of what Maya did, and from where I stand, you're just as involved. That's not my concern." "Not your concern?" he spat incredulously. "I have a girlfriend, a serious relationship of 3 years with Jessica, and she was visiting my place when your so-called anniversary gift arrived. She saw everything, the note, the whole lot." Honestly, I hadn't seen that twist coming. I had pegged Derek as just another single player in the dating scene. Learning he was committed added layers of betrayals to Maya's actions. "So, you're both cheaters," I continued. "Sounds strictly like a personal issue for you." "This is entirely your fault," he shot back, his temper rising. "Maya told me you two were basically done, that you were just cohabiting and she was moving out. She painted you as a controlling jerk. Without that dinner, I could have managed things. But you exposed me. Jessica's left, she took everything." He stepped forward menacingly. "You're going to fix this. Call Jessica and tell her you're just a crazed ex." I chuckled at the sheer nerve. "Let me get this straight. You and my ex were cheating on your respective partners. I unmasked the affair, and now you expect me to lie to your ex for you? Leave." As I moved to shut the door, he jammed it with his hand. "You'll regret this," he warned. Silently, I drew my phone and recorded his threats, ensuring he saw it. His bravado melted as quickly as it had come. Dejected, he stepped back and sulked away. Maya's retaliation next took a financial route. Days later, a fraud alert popped up from my bank concerning an old department store card. A card I barely recalled, still open from a furniture purchase we'd made together, a couch to be precise. Though I was the primary account holder, she had a card too. Apparently, she'd attempted to buy over $2,000 in gift cards online, triggering the bank's alert system, which blocked the transaction. I endured an hour-long call with the bank's fraud team, clearing up the situation, closing the account, and lodging a formal complaint. Another piece to add to my growing dossier against Maya. Then the expected smear campaign got underway, except this time it involved a fresh twist. The narrative wasn't just labeling me a jealous and unstable ex. In a bid to win his girlfriend back, Derek had seemingly teamed up with Maya. Together, they painted me as a violent stalker who'd been tormenting them both for ages, with the sushi delivery framed as the latest episode of crazy antics. Their ploy might have succeeded had it not been for a surprising email I received a week later. The sender was none other than Jessica, Derek's former girlfriend. She explained how a mutual acquaintance, privy to the swirling rumors, had provided her with my email, believing I deserved the truth. Jessica suggested we meet. The following day, over coffee, I met a woman who exuded intelligence and resilience, despite her heartache. Jessica came armed with a story to tell and evidence to prove it. Text messages from Derek complained about Maya, calling her a needy psycho, yet he professed an inability to shake her off. Meanwhile, texts from Maya to Derek revealed her cynical scheme to wring a substantial settlement from me before making her exit, merely awaiting the opportune moment. Everything was laid bare in stark clarity, an orchestrated plot to exploit me, extract my resources, and then move on. Jessica, having conducted her own investigations post-breakup, had unearthed the unsavory plot. "He's a coward and liar," she asserted, her voice firm. "But she's on another level entirely. She's predatory. I refuse to let her escape accountability. I am willing to provide a sworn statement and testify in court if necessary. I want her to be held accountable for her actions against both of us." This newfound leverage prepared me for Maya's ultimate strategy. Her move came in the form of a legal letter filled with unfounded accusations. It demanded financial support, alleged emotional harm, and threatened to sue for a share of my assets. My attorney acted decisively, demolishing her claims by highlighting that she was never on the lease. We also included several key documents. Exhibit A was a transcript of Derek's threats recorded at my doorstep. Exhibit B detailed her attempted credit card fraud, as reported by the bank. Exhibit C was a sworn, notarized statement from Jessica featuring incriminating text messages where Maya detailed her extortion scheme. The letter ended with a warning. Unless Maya withdrew all allegations and ceased contact, we would proceed with a comprehensive lawsuit addressing harassment, defamation, and fraud conspiracy, demanding full legal expenses. Maya's lawyer never responded. It's now half a year later, and we've heard nothing from Maya or her family. Word has it that her parents are forcing her to return all the money she withdrew from our joint accounts. Derek's life has unraveled. True to her promise, Jessica never reconciled with him, and his and Maya's scandal has left them ostracized from their social circle. From what I've gathered, Maya now resides in a small apartment in a rough part of town, struggling with temporary work and overwhelming debt. She lost more than a partner. She lost a lifestyle she assumed was secure, revealing her true nature as a user and a fraud.